Sharon laid in bed awake, her mind racing silently. Dear God, please let things go right tomorrow on this trip. Please let my husband look at me like he used to. Please, Lord, let me show him I can still be adventurous and fun. Please, help me keep this marriage together. Honey, don't let go of me!
If we make it through this, I'm done with you. It's over.
Honey, please, don't let go of me. Please, don't let go. We can make it. What was supposed to be the vacation of their lifetime, a time of healing, a time to be together and work on their marriage, turned into a life and death situation neither Sharon nor her husband of 33 years saw coming. A white-knuckle struggle 5,332 miles away, surrounded by beauty, yet terror, as they were both left at the mercy of the mighty Zambezi River, vulnerable to the elements like man-eating crocodiles and aggressive hippos the size of tanks surrounding them at every turn. But little did they know, this near-tragic accident half a world away would lead to one of the greatest breakthroughs in weight loss history for men and women over the age of 40 everywhere, and how this once-in-a-lifetime trip led to a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that helped Sharon lose 17 pounds instantly, and later a total of 97 pounds, going from this to this, all without strenuous exercise or dieting, while erasing the crushing anxiety and depression from being in an abusive relationship and saying hello to abundant energy, vitality, and the confidence to live again.
Whatever is in this 10-second ritual, it's amazing. Not only has my belly disappeared, but I've lost 18 pounds in only 3 weeks.
Everyone has had a time or two when they've let their weight go. And with my busy schedule as a healthcare professional, some days can be downright chaotic. So something quick and easy was perfect for me.
Well, for me, it really wasn't so much about the pounds I lost or even the 5 inches off my waist, although that's pretty nice. The best part was getting my doctor off my back. Because let's face it, my vital signs have never looked better. And that right there makes me a very happy man.
My mood has improved, my depression is gone, and I have so much energy. I even took up a few extra hobbies. It just feels great to feel like my younger self again.
And get this, in 2 weeks, I lost 21 pounds. It was a life changer for me.
And all it takes is 10 seconds each morning before breakfast to experience this rapid weight loss. Because it seems the more you follow this 10-second tip, the faster you'll get ahead of any weight loss plateau, helping you lose more weight as time goes on, and without slowing down. You see, if belly fat and love handles are a problem for you, this breakthrough, it seems, attacks this type of fat buildup at the source. Exactly like peeling away an onion. This powerful 10-second trick will remove months to years of layered, trapped fat around your core until what's revealed is the flat stomach you want and body you desire. According to Time magazine, there's a certain silent killer that effectively blocks your metabolism from doing its job by rerouting the food you eat, even if it's the healthiest, organic, non-GMO food you can find, to be shuttled towards your stomach and gobbled up by starving fat cells. Like a bottomless pit, this silent killer instructs these fat cells to consume the food you eat, even if it's healthy, just to grow in size, exactly like starving cancer cells. We'll get to more of that in just a minute, because this silent killer has also been linked to some of the most major diseases that have plagued our loved ones, like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and even cancer. Let me put it bluntly. This silent killer is worse than eating McDonald's 7 days per week. It's worse than smoking a pack of cigarettes every day. And it's worse than sitting at a desk for 10+ hours. Basically, if left unchecked, this silent killer can leave a path of destruction, making it harder for you to lose the heavy, suffocating, deadly fat around your midsection while your metabolism slows to a screeching halt. And no matter how hard you exercise or watch what you eat, This silent killer will just smile back at you as your body continues to pack on fat for no apparent reason. However, when you follow this breakthrough tip each morning before starting your day, belly fat can melt away like butter in a hot pan. In fact, the longer you've struggled with your weight, the faster you can experience a slimmer belly because your metabolism will make up for lost time. Many who've sworn by this fat trimming secret report losing between 7 and 17 pounds in the first few weeks, plus up to 3 inches around their waists. You see, as you get older, belly fat buildup is a symptom of something much larger happening inside of you. That's why it's not always your diet or lack of activity that causes it. No, not even your genetics most of the time. After 40, your body is more sensitive to certain stressors which accelerates this buildup, and it all can be traced back to this silent killer causing destruction from the inside out. However, stopping this is now possible thanks to this breakthrough weight loss discovery 5,332 miles away. I'm going to show you what it is in this short video because it has nothing to do with detox teas, shakes, smoothies, exercise, fasting, or keto. This is so much easier than anything weight loss scientists have seen, and why pharmaceutical companies are scrambling to learn more, then patent it themselves, making it harder for good people like you to get the help you need and want. That's why this is very important. I don't know how much longer we can talk about all this, so make sure you pay attention. In just a minute, I'll give you a simple test you can perform on yourself to see if this silent killer is telling your metabolism to store fat instead of burn fat. Plus, the simple trick you can use in the morning that flushes fat from your trouble spots like water being squeezed from a balloon. Now, if belly fat isn't your main problem, but more so your butt, hips, thighs, or arms, this African fat loss secret discovered on the banks of the Zambezi River could release this problem area fat until you reach your ideal shape and weight. In fact, the power of this African secret runs so deep, it could even help calm high blood pressure, reduce bad cholesterol, ease pain, and lower blood sugar, virtually erasing any bad memories of feeling old, tired, and weary. Most people have no idea how far-reaching this silent killer could bully its way into your life and make you feel so sick, moody, fatigued, and agitated. These are just some of the many signs you need to pay attention to. However, after you take this short little test, don't worry, it takes seconds, you'll finally understand why it's been so hard to lose weight and keep it off for good. And if that's the case, don't get down on yourself, because if you stick with me till the end, I'll show you the simple solution that reverses all of this, while blocking any more deadly fat storage around your midsection regardless of your age or situation. In fact, this 10-second morning tip is so powerful, your metabolism will have no choice but to use this stubborn fat for fuel right away, much faster than any detox, keto diet, or fasting ritual. You won't starve, you won't have to eat weird foods, and you won't have to track anything. Now, if you're still somewhat skeptical, I'm also going to reveal the #1 worst food this silent killer loves to feed on that accelerates belly fat buildup and your chance of developing diabetes and hypertension, if you haven't done so already. And if that's the case, then you really need to pay attention. This is something that's never been published before, and we could get in trouble for it. But we're willing to risk it all if it can help you burn fat, get healthy, and feel the best you can. You see, your body is an amazing machine. Give it what it needs, and usually it'll take care of the rest. And that's why this African lean belly secret holds so much promise and has sent shockwaves through the medical community for its belly flattening effects and ability to rewind time on the youth and vitality of your healthy body. Best part, it has nothing to do with following a specific diet or workout program, because if those worked, you wouldn't be here, and this wouldn't have helped over 27,779 people so far. So keep watching, because you'll be shocked to learn the truth about certain exercises, even yoga, and how they could make this belly fat pileup even worse. This is the real truth that most doctors, exercise specialists, and nutritionists don't know, and why once your hormones are back in balance, how incredibly fast your stomach will shrink down if you're a man or a woman or over the age of 40. You'll be taken back by the quick turnaround in your health and energy levels so much, you'll probably wish you knew this a lot sooner. But don't take my word for it. I promise you'll wake up and feel this change happening inside of you right away, just like Becky, who lost 64 pounds in 9 weeks following this morning trick while giving her the confidence and energy to get back doing the things she loves with more stamina than her 18-year-old twins. And Jack, who dropped 41 pounds in only 7 weeks while trimming 5 inches from his waist. He wrote in and said, "I love how I lost all this weight, but now I need to go shopping. And I hate shopping. Thankfully, my wife does though, so it looks like we're heading to the mall this weekend." Listen, I can't stress this enough. I'm going to share everything with you right here, including this 10-second morning tip to flush stubborn fat while blocking this silent killer from controlling your life here on out. Because once you do, your belly will noticeably look slimmer on the sides and flatter in the front each morning you wake up. Now, I can't afford to speak about this powerful fat loss strategy for free forever. So watch this now while you still can, because I promise to show you how belly fat is a symptom of something much larger. That's why if you take care of this silent killer at the source, following this 10-second morning tip, the brakes will be released and your metabolism can finally do its job, helping you burn fat around the clock, even while you sleep. Now, I know what you might be thinking, that you've seen it all and tried it all before. And you know what? I don't blame your skepticism, but I promise you, this is nothing like you've witnessed, heard, or read about. Especially this simple morning tip that can change the shape of your body, fill you with energy while removing toxic fat buildup in a way you've never experienced before, because it has nothing to do with eating less and exercising more. So let's set the record straight. This revolutionary breakthrough is nothing you've tried before, yet could be the answer to your prayers, all thanks to a near tragic accident half a world away, surrounded by beauty and terror. Now, I must warn you, this story will completely shock you and you might find it hard to believe. In fact, this story is so out there, yet so true, that many people wanted to feature it on Dateline, CNN, and other news outlets. But I'm not one for the camera. Nor do I want this weight loss breakthrough to be dragged down by reporters and TV doctors asking silly questions because the proof is in the pudding. Like Janet, who lost 38 pounds before her daughter's wedding while erasing her morning aches and pains associated with her fibromyalgia. And Curtis, a pastor from Louisiana who thanked me for this miracle fat loss solution that helped him lose 5 inches off his waist while getting his doctor off his back. Curtis is off 3 of his medications and now has the energy to chase after his grandchildren. So, who am I? Why should you listen? Well, who better to tell this story than the person it happened to? Hi there, it's Sharon, and yep, that's me. 237 pounds at 57 years old. And if I didn't nearly drown in the mighty rapids of the Zambezi River, well, I wouldn't have discovered this easy as pie trick that melts fat right off your trouble areas. And you wouldn't be here right now. So consider this a special time in history. Because frankly, I thought I was a goner that day. I faced death and came to grips that it was my time, that they'd either find my body somewhere down the river or not at all. I just prayed if they did, I wouldn't be chopped meat from the hippos or crocodiles that lived in the area for my family's sake. For my husband and I, this trip to the Zambezi River was supposed to be one for the ages, but also a time to heal and get back to how we used to be. We figured going away on a trip like this would bring us closer together, but instead, this freak accident drove us further apart. We were struggling, and I was slowly giving up hope. Every year for the last 7 years, my body stopped cooperating. I'd try and eat healthy, watch my carbs, fats, and exercise, but nothing seemed to stop the amount of fat my body was piling on. It was nonstop. I developed high blood pressure, was pre-diabetic, and slowly grew more depressed and tired. It's not like I didn't try to fix what was happening. I did what my trainer told me to do. I did what my doctor told me to do. I even read the books, followed the exercise videos, but nothing really ever worked. And if it did, it was only for a short time. Then The abuse started. What happened to you? What happened to my wife? You're so moody and you let yourself go. I take care of myself, why can't you? And I hate to admit this because it's really embarrassing, but eventually we stopped having sex. He stopped touching me altogether. Even a little slap on the butt or kiss on the cheek. That all went away. I tried, but it was hopeless. Really looking back, the kids were the only glue that held us together. So I suggested we take a trip. Somewhere we always wanted to go. You know, a bucket list item. So we agreed to visit Africa and take in the mighty Zambezi River, which is considered one of the great wonders of the world. I felt like a trip like this would help us heal and bring us together. Little did I know it would have the opposite effect, like oil and water. You see, it was my idea to go whitewater rafting that day, not his. I had to plead because he kept saying no, that it wasn't a good idea because I could barely swim and frankly too big to be doing anything adventurous, he said. But reluctantly, he agreed. The next day, as soon as we barreled into rapid number 7, our raft fell 20 feet, smashed into the water, then flipped, sending all of us out of the boat in a flash. It happened so fast that it literally took my breath away and forced the air out of my lungs as I was thrown out and sucked down. To feel the raw power of the current was haunting because immediately you knew you were at the mercy of Mother Nature. The water was so powerful. It sucked me down like a vacuum tornado. I tried to fight to the surface, but it was too powerful. That's when I felt a hand grab my wrist and pull me up just enough to breathe. It was my husband, desperately holding on for dear life to a rock himself as he tried to keep me from going back under. He used to play football, so he was quite strong, but no match for the mighty Zambezi. Within seconds, I could see him beginning to lose grip as he's screaming at me to grab onto something else, but sadly I couldn't. Because of my weight and my size, I was hopelessly stuck, holding on to my husband's wrist and arm for dear life. And that's when he shouted the words that were the nails in our coffin. "If we get through this, I'm done. I'm done with you." And not another 10 seconds went by that I lost my grip on his arm, and he lost his grip on my wrist as I went tumbling down the river at the mercy of the rapids and current. I felt like a rag doll with no control or ability to save myself. At 100 pounds overweight, the strength and stamina had all but left my body rather quickly. The only thing keeping me alive was my life jacket, helmet, which cracked from hitting the rocks, and the memory of my children. I prayed to whomever was listening that if I survived, I'd make a change, not just for myself, but for my boys. You see, as a former college athlete, I know what it's like to be in shape. I know what it's like to feel strong, but that distant memory was replaced by 100 pounds of fat, crushing fatigue, pain, and depression. So just as I took in what I thought was one of my last breaths, I felt a rope tangle around my arm. I looked to my right and saw a group of people screaming for me to grab on as they pulled me in. Laying there on the banks of the Zambezi River, barely alive, dry heaving and coughing up water, I thanked God for allowing me to live, and I vowed to keep my promise. After what just happened, I knew I could never go back to the way things were, in a body I hated, a body that failed me, and a one-sided, abusive relationship on its last breath coughing up dust. I didn't deserve it, and neither does anyone else. But my body was too sore to go home right away. I was lucky, but not completely out of the woods. I needed to heal. They carried me on a stretcher, out of the gorge to the local village we were staying at. After what happened, my husband and I did not stay in the same hut, so I was left all alone to heal and get better half a world away. But out of the ashes of this tragedy, gave birth to a revolutionary breakthrough that saved my life along with thousands of others. It was in that hot, dank-smelling hut in the middle of Africa where a small, elderly man came into my life and changed it forever. And maybe yours today. Although nothing was broken and there was no internal bleeding, I felt like I went 15 rounds with a bear. He asked me through an interpreter how I was doing, and I told him what happened. He then pulled out a small leather pouch filled to the brim with what looked like red grapes still attached to the stems, which were nothing I ever saw before in the supermarket. These were big, bright, and filled with juice. He took out 3 from his bag, plus the stems, grinded them up, and poured this into a cup of tea. He told me to drink half now and half later. He said it'll help my body heal while taking away the pain. I did what he said, and within an hour, I began to feel different. I wasn't doing front flips, but my body felt energized and the pain slightly dulled. Later that night, I had the rest of the mixture and went to bed. The next morning, I got up and noticed my pants were a bit looser around my waist. I didn't think anything of it, but my head didn't hurt as much and my knees, which were beaten up, felt better. The swelling and bruising went down considerably. That day, the old man came back with the interpreter and asked how I felt. I told him whatever he gave me worked. I asked him for the name and if I could get more. He smiled, pulled out the same small leather pouch, and gave me 3 more grapes with the stems. He said to grind them up like yesterday and place them in a tea to have twice that day. I did what he said, and the next morning, my stomach was flatter again, while the crushing pain in my lower back from being thrown around like a rag doll had gone away. The old man came back again, and that's when I begged him for the name of this weird grape attached to its stem. He laughed, then mumbled something to the interpreter, who said outsiders were not allowed to know. But as he was leaving, the interpreter scribbled something on a piece of paper and left it in my hut. I got up, walked over, and read it aloud. It said, Namun Ungwa. Well, luckily the old man felt pity on me and left enough of this special ingredient for the rest of the week. So each day, I drank this concoction twice per day, and each morning I woke up slimmer, with more energy and less pain. I couldn't explain it, and neither could my husband as we left together to head home. I was excited to hop on the scale when we got back while beginning this new chapter in my life. I began to look at this accident as a blessing in disguise, a brand new course, because once we got home, we shortly ended things. And that was fine. Looking back, it was a long time coming. Anyways, after we finally arrived home, when I did finally hop on the scale expecting to lose maybe 5 to 7 pounds, which would have been plenty, the scale said I lost 17 pounds instead. 17 pounds, I thought to myself. Nope, no way. It had to be wrong. I jumped off, checked again, and it was the same number. I pumped my fist in the air and let out a hoot. But that's when it hit me. Would I be able to keep losing weight? Or will this weight loss be short-lived like the other times? You see, now that I was back home, I no longer had access to these grapes with the stem that seemed to erase the pain, but most importantly, flush the fat from my stomach without dieting or exercise. Now, I want you to know something. Even though we were in Africa, in the middle of nowhere when I experienced this rapid fat loss, I was never hungry. The guides fed us very well, almost too well, which baffled me because it didn't make sense. Even though we were stuffed most nights heading to bed, I still woke up with a flatter stomach every morning. So after settling in, I needed to find out what this magical ingredient was, why it worked, and how I could get some more, or if I could get some more. That's when my research led me to Dr. James and his work. As a renowned medical scientist, Dr. James's specialty was on the human metabolism and the specific silent killer I told you about before, which he told me can turn the fastest metabolism into your own worst enemy. I originally sought him out to answer a few questions about what happened in Africa, but instead, he flipped my brain upside down and revealed a few shocking and even breakthrough weight loss tips I had never heard before, and I'm sure you've never heard or seen either. So keep watching, because I'm going to share them all with you right now. First, he told me the true culprit of stubborn belly fat, according to his research, was not so much your diet or genetics, but the specific silent killer. He explained to me that this silent killer was the #1 reason why I probably gained so much weight in my belly and kept gaining it no matter what I tried. According to Harvard Health, this silent killer is responsible for adding layers of fat along with extra fat cells around your midsection like bricks to a house. And once these fat cells reach a certain size, they replicate and multiply on their own, like a contagious virus, also creating their own toxic spew of hormones. Scientists have found these rivers of harsh hormones can trick your brain to crave more sugary foods, while forcing your metabolism to a sluggish crawl, allowing these new fat cells to puff up and gain more size, just like a parasite feeding off its host. In fact, many doctors now believe these fat cells are essentially alive, indirectly controlling your emotions, mood, feelings, hunger, even your libido. But that's not even scratching the surface. They can skyrocket your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, and increase your risk for heart disease. And if you don't take care of this deadly belly fat, it can lead to other diseases like arthritis, cancer, and even Alzheimer's. That's why Time magazine labeled this silent killer public enemy #1. Hundreds of ailments and diseases can all be traced back to it. Dr. James told me, "You'll never have the body you want and the healthy, energetic life you crave if you don't do something about this silent killer." He then said, despite this, there's a few things you can do to help quiet this problem and get back on track to losing these 100 pounds. The first tip he gave me, and one I promised you, was the #1 worst food you need to avoid, which are omega-6 fatty acids. These fats can be found in most processed foods like baked goods, snacks, salad dressings, and cooking oils. He said, although we need some omega-6 fatty acids in our body, the standard American diet has 20 times the amount. Plus, this silent killer loves to feed on omega-6 fatty acids, in the same way cancer cells suck up sugar to help them grow and multiply. Except this growth you'll experience isn't more cancer cells, but more deadly belly fat. That's why you need to keep watching, because I'll show you the exact protocol I followed that helped me permanently lose all 97 pounds while neutralizing this silent killer at the source. Then, Dr. James asked me if I was exercising, and if so, what was I doing? I told him some yoga and Pilates because I felt too heavy to do anything else, and that's when he stopped me mid-sentence. He said exercise is good, and it's healthy, but in my case, my body was likely so inflamed that exercising more would be like throwing gasoline on an already raging fire. It turns out, exercise, just like omega-6 fatty acids, are pro-inflammatory, meaning they produce inflammation. And that was the last thing I needed. And maybe the same goes for you. That's why, if you find it hard to burn fat, especially around your stomach, you need to take care of this silent killer first before starting any exercise routine. Remember, you need to have balance. Once this hormonal balance is achieved, then the weight can fly off. Most of the time without exercise and just a normal, sensible eating plan. That's why it's easier to lose weight when you're younger than after 40 when you experience more hormonal imbalances. This really made sense. You see, pain is a sign of inflammation. Fatigue is inflammation. Too much fat around your stomach is a big sign of inflammation as well. And maybe that's why this 10-second morning trick helps so much. By neutralizing this silent killer and allowing my body to finally get back into harmony. Once that happened, the weight fell off. The bloat went away, and the pain disappeared, and my energy levels came roaring back. But I wasn't completely sure. So that's when I asked Dr. James the serious questions about what happened over there. I told him what the elderly man had in his small leather pouch and what it did for me. I was convinced this ingredient was my ticket to get my life back. So I asked him if he ever heard of such a thing and where I could get some more. For a few seconds, there was silence. I thought we lost connection, but that's when Dr. James said, "You know, Sharon, I can tell you're serious about losing the amount of weight you want. Which you should," he said. "It's dangerous, especially the fat around your belly, which is a first-class ticket to one of the major diseases like heart disease, cancer, or Alzheimer's." He said, "Sharon, I think I know what you're talking about, but I need to be sure. I've heard rumblings about this. So if it's what I think it is, this could revolutionize the entire industry. All our research will be turned upside down, and pharmaceutical companies will certainly try and get their hands on this. Let me speak with a few colleagues first and get back to you." We said goodbye and hung up the phone. I was bummed because I was so eager for answers, but kept repeating to myself that patience is a virtue and he'd eventually get back to me. Well, a few weeks went by, and as I waited, and during this time, I made sure to eat sensibly. It was my son's birthday, so I did have some treats, but nothing out of the ordinary. And after 14 days, I started wondering what the scale would say. So the next morning, I hopped on, hoping to be at least the same or even better. And well, to make a long story short, it was a terrible decision on my part. I stepped on and it said I gained 10 pounds. 10 friggin' pounds. I couldn't believe it, and I thought the batteries were dying. But nope, the scale never lies. I gained 10 pounds, just like that. I was so frustrated, I tell you, and so defeated. That's when the worrying set in and doomful thoughts on my potential bleak future. Was I destined to be this way forever? Why was my body doing this to me? Did Dr. James forget about our conversation? I started to believe this was my fate, to be fat and unwanted forever. I was born into this world alone and figured I'd die alone. At least I had my boys, I said to myself. But that next morning, out of nowhere around 8 a.m., I got a phone call. It was Dr. James on the other line. "Hey Sharon, how are you doing?" He seemed excited. But I told him what happened, how I gained 10 pounds in 2 weeks and was on the verge of giving up. That's when he chimed in. He said, "Sharon, stop right there. I have your answer. I'm sorry it took me so long to get back to you, but the name you gave me was hard to track down. Eventually, I contacted an old friend whom I met at school while getting my PhD. He specializes in African studies. He told me Namun Ungwa could mean several things, but mainly it's an African plant found near select river banks that's been used for thousands of years to treat everything from asthma, hemorrhoids, wounds, burns, pain, bloating, indigestion, fatigue, and more. What's interesting, Dr. James said, is a lot of these same ailments, according to the research, can all be traced back to this same silent killer. And this plant, it seems, might have helped neutralize its dangerous effects on your body. Plus, it didn't have any side effects and was 100% natural. Much better than any prescription drug, in my professional opinion. He said, "Sharon, this plant is probably the reason why you lost so much weight so quickly, while helping you feel so much better, faster. I did some more research, Sharon, and it seems you're not the only one who's experienced the power of this African miracle. A few colleagues of mine are research assistants for the big pharmaceutical companies, and they told me they're all looking to take this natural ingredient and turn it into a drug. Every single one of them. Now, they said, that's still 1 to 2 years away, so you still have time to get your hands on this before you need a prescription and before the price skyrockets. But what they did for me, and you, is point me in the direction to a supplier over here who's secured exclusive rights with a small group of organic farmers half a world away to produce this ingredient. There's a few other sources, but the pharmaceutical companies own them now. He's really the only one that I trust and is not looking to turn this into a drug with side effects." He said, "It turns out, Sharon, this one African doctor performed trials with amazing success. However, he doesn't want everyone getting their grubby hands on this lean belly secret, so he has played this close to the chest." I urged them they had nothing to worry about. As a researcher, I was purely interested in the results and the future of this weight loss breakthrough because it could be the falling domino we've been searching for to help millions in this country. Obesity and this type of deadly belly fat is an epidemic of biblical proportions. Millions die every year because of it. It fractures families, and it takes away too many good men and women. If we can do something about this, then so many will have the hope to get their lives back. He then said out of the 123 men and women they've tested this 10-second morning tip on, significant reductions in weight and central obesity were found, along with 6.6 to 11.2 inches off their waists over the next 7 weeks. According to him, this 10-second tip works so well for stubborn belly fat because it contains a compound that neutralizes the outer protective coating of each fat cell, essentially breaking through its defenses, then melting the contents on the inside, while making any more inflammatory fat gain caused by this silent killer nearly impossible. He said you can get the same effect from eating 5 specific deeply colored fruits, but you'd need to eat 5 to 7 pounds each day to get the same amount of fat-flushing properties. Obviously, that's not ideal, and why this holds so much promise. This ingredient is so potent, he said, you only need a tiny amount to get the job done. It's so easy to enjoy and do. It requires no exercise and no weird diets or food, no shakes, and no expensive procedures. Best part, because of these potent micronutrients, many who took part in the clinical trial reduced numerous symptoms traced back to this silent killer. Their skin improved, their sleep deepened, their high blood pressure was lowered, and their brain fog cleared up. Better yet, their energy levels skyrocketed in a matter of weeks without any help, giving many of these former frustrated men and women a second chance at life. And it's so easy because this simple trick can fit perfectly in your busy life. You don't have to prepare your meals in advance, drink a bunch of vitamins, or even belong to a gym, saving you so much money in the process. That's when Dr. James asked me to take a simple test. It was only a few questions, and very easy, but will tell us if those special grapes on the stem were the reason I lost so much weight so fast while feeling pain-free after my near-tragic accident. He said, "Sharon, these questions are from the manufacturer. If you answer yes to at least 2 of these questions, we'll know this special ingredient was the reason you lost so much belly fat, and hopefully will continue to do so as long as you follow this 10-second tip each morning." I'm going to share these questions with you now, the same ones he gave me. You can do this yourself at home, and we'll tell you if maybe silent killer is the reason you have stubborn belly fat that refuses to budge. First, do you sleep at least 7 to 8 hours each night? Next, do you consume sugar, even processed fake sugar sweeteners or sweet foods? Do you experience fatigue in the afternoon? Do you find it hard to lose those last 10 pounds or more? Do you feel stressed most days of the week? Has your sex drive taken a dip behind closed doors? And can you pinch off at least 2 inches of fat from your midsection? Now, if you answered yes to more than 2 of these questions, don't worry. I answered yes to 6 out of 7. It was obvious I had a problem. Plus, Dr. James told me, if you're over 40, your body is more sensitive to these stressors, so it's no wonder most men and women suffer daily. That's why you're not alone. And if you think it's your fault, think again. How are you supposed to know any of this? You see, every day you're bombarded by toxic pollution, noise, bad food ingredients, stress, and more, which just feeds this silent killer and causes you to gain more weight. And it's not just one type of person this happens to. People from all walks of life, male or female, suffer from this. It can cause you to overeat, crave junk food, sugar, and kill your libido. But worst of all, as this silent killer grows inside of you, you'll gain weight for no obvious reason. That's why if you've been baffled by this, or you just eat one slice of cake and you feel like it sticks to you, this is the reason why. Which really gave me peace of mind. I no longer felt like it was my fault. I had hope now that we were getting somewhere, and I could see how those 743 men and women lost so much weight while reducing inches around their waistlines. That's when Dr. James gave me the opportunity of a lifetime on the phone. He said, "Sharon, this manufacturer I've been talking with and running these clinical trials has extracted a pure form of this fruit stem plant, meaning you now won't need to travel 5,000 plus miles back to Africa to get access again. You can experience the same results you saw and felt over there in your hut, but now in your home, just like the other 700 plus men and women have during these trials. So Sharon, is this something you want to try?" "Of course," I yelled. I jumped at the chance. He said it was going to be pricey, around $199 for a 30-day supply because of the purification steps to process this ingredient. Plus, you'll only be one of a handful that will have access to it. It hasn't been released to the public yet. You'll have to sign a confidentiality agreement too. You can share your results with others, but you can't exactly say how you lost the weight yet. Sound good? "Great," I said. The next week, a small, unmarked package arrived. I opened the box, and inside was a scribbled note from the manufacturer and a white bottle with no label. The note read, "To get the most benefit, it's best to take 1 serving in the morning with a warm glass of water. Don't skip any days, and don't take more than 1 serving per day, as you can experience a rapid fat loss effect that's potentially unhealthy. There was also a white paper showing the results they were noticing with other subjects using this formula. One group lost 10.5 pounds on average while increasing their serotonin levels by 53.4%. Now, serotonin is a strong neurochemical that can help ease depression, the moody blues, and ease your cravings. Essentially, the more you can naturally boost serotonin levels, the better you'll feel as you go about your day. However, in a second study this paper outlined, subjects lost even more weight than the first, an average of 19.2 pounds more, while reducing their body fat by 14% and trimming 3.4 inches from their waistlines. Researchers also found this miracle formula dramatically lowers bad cholesterol numbers, hypertension, and blood sugar levels, the perfect benefits for heart health and weight loss. Now, I know this sounds too good to be true, and I don't blame you for being skeptical, but sometimes the simplest answer is usually the correct one, and this white bottle with no label seemed to be it. So I just had to wait and see. I stopped exercising like Dr. James told me and just walked. I also stayed away from any foods that would feed this silent killer in my belly. I took the one serving the next morning with a big glass of water, then went about my day. I didn't feel anything until that night, but when I did, it was a motivating surge of energy that I couldn't place my finger on. It felt incredible. I cleaned the house, cooked, did the dishes, walked the dog, and still had more left over. That night I went to bed and fell asleep instantly. The next morning I woke up, hopped on the scale, and noticed 2 pounds were gone. Okay, great, I said, but I didn't want to get ahead of myself. I took one more serving before breakfast like the note said, and went about my day. I continued to do this the entire week, and I stopped getting on the scale. Honestly, I was scared to be disappointed, so I just put my faith in Dr. James and this specific ingredient each morning. At the end of the 7 days, I woke up and my pajamas were so loose around my waist, I had to hold them up as I ran to the bathroom. I jumped on the scale and lost 13 pounds, and a total of 15 for the week. Now, I didn't eat any weird foods, nor did I starve myself. I just ate sensibly, like Dr. James said, while avoiding any foods that would feed this silent killer. I was truly dumbfounded because these results went against all conventional wisdom about losing weight. Plus, not only did my belly flatten, I felt like the Energizer Bunny. I remember going for a walk and thinking to myself, I haven't felt like this since my 20s before my kids, or my 30s when I was still in shape. My slightly arthritic knee pain also cleared up, and my digestion issues even calmed down. Most nights after dinner, I'd feel bloated and gassy no matter what I ate, but that was all gone too. And again, I did nothing strenuous. The only rules I followed were take one serving in the morning, avoid hard exercise, and a few foods. Easy peasy. So easy, anyone can do it. Even the most busy professionals, parents, and active retirees. I called Dr. James after the first week and was beaming. He was happy for me, but told me to track my measurements like weight and a few others like sleep, energy, waistline circumference, blood pressure, and resting heart rate. He said these health markers, besides the weight loss, will really tell us about how your body is changing from the inside. This is very critical, he said. Anyone can lose weight if they try hard enough. But what we're trying to do here is neutralize the silent killer that's ravaged your body and organs for so long, while accelerating the aging process. If we can do that, and if we notice improvements in your health markers, then we know for sure the formula works and you'll be able to enjoy these results for years to come. So, like a good student, I did what he said. I kept taking the capsules and 3 weeks later tallied up my results. It was incredible. In just 28 days, I lost an amazing 32 pounds of pure fat, most of it from my belly. Then I looked at my measurements. 4 inches from my waist were gone. My blood pressure lowered by 12 points. I averaged 7.8 hours of sleep per night, and my resting heart rate dropped by an average of 6 beats per minute. I shared these results with Dr. James over the phone and email. He said he was more convinced than ever this was going to change the lives for millions of men and women who experience suffocating belly fat and poor health. He asked if he could share my results with the manufacturer, plus if I'd be willing to test the formula for another 3 months, just so we could conclusively know everything worked the way it should. he told me it would still be $199 per month. I agreed regardless of the price, and 3 months later, I lost a total of 97 pounds. I came off my hypertension medication. My fasting blood sugar number was perfect. My cholesterol numbers exact, and my energy never better. I was able to get back to the athlete I used to be. And what a feeling it is, I'll tell you, to be back in the body you had so many years ago with the energy you remember having in your 20s. There's nothing like it, and you can't put a price on this youthful feeling. 97 pounds vanished. And the compliments, oh my, the compliments were and still are nonstop. I'm not one for attention, but after the painful divorce to my husband, it feels nice to be admired, to be wanted again, to feel sexy and confident, which I believe is infectious. That's when Tom came into my life, and we've never looked back. He's such a wonderful man and is so kind and sweet. It's a nice feeling to be loved again while feeling youthful beyond our years. And I want you to experience all these wonderful benefits too. Now, maybe you don't need to lose close to 100 pounds like I did, but even if it's just 10, 20, 30 or more, that's entirely possible because the proof is in the pudding. This silent killer is public enemy number 1 and the real culprit to stubborn weight gain while making you feel so sluggish, slow, and downright depressed. Change this, and you'll be on your way to a slimmer belly in no time. Success stories like mine, along with so many others now who've tried this African lean belly secret, are pouring in by the day. Men and women from 40 all the way up to 84 are beaming through these emails they're sending in, saying how this simple formula changed their lives so much for the better. Their bellies are flatter, they have more energy, and their moody blues have disappeared. They're so much happier and confident now that many are saying it's like being given a second chance at life. These people are crossing items off their bucket lists like hiking the Grand Canyon, traveling the world, running marathons, dating again, getting remarried, and more. It's amazing to see how a near-tragic accident I experienced in the rapids on the Zambezi River could impact so many men and women all over the world, leading to a revolutionary breakthrough that's now helped over 27,000 men and women. That's why Dr. James and I have now partnered with the manufacturer to help spread the word about this special secret. Well, I shouldn't say it's a secret anymore. The word is out, and it'll only be a matter of time before the pharmaceutical companies turn this natural and safe compound into a drug with numerous side effects and probably a hefty price tag. Since most insurance companies won't pay out for something like this, they'll consider it cosmetic, just like plastic surgery. And yeah, this is like plastic surgery, except you'll never have to visit a surgeon, a doctor, or go under the knife. You just need to take 1 serving in the morning with a small glass of water before breakfast while cutting down on exercise and avoiding a few foods. Our last test group who followed this exact protocol, all 53 of them experienced a rapid fat flushing effect from their midsection in only days, then weeks. Around 94% of these men and women also reported feeling happy and in good spirits while losing an average of 3.5 inches from their waistlines. But that's not all. Out of the 53 people in this recent trial, 41 took some type of prescription medication for their high blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes. Out of the 41, 38 reduced the amount of pills they needed, while half of the 38 came off their medications by the end of the trial period. Plus, all 53 people lost a grand total of 2,321 pounds. That's an average of 43 pounds gone per person. I know now we have something truly special, and since then have worked tirelessly to bring this amazing formula to market. That's why I'm so incredibly excited for you today. Let me introduce to you the amazing weight loss breakthrough known as the Lean Belly Formula. We felt the name was fitting because that's what this ancient formula does. Leans out the fat from your belly, then your body, until you reach your best shape. Now, it's totally up to you how much weight you want to lose while using the Lean Belly Formula. Even if you don't need to lose close to 100 pounds like I did, if it's just 20 to 30 pounds, you'll love how the weight flies off while your belly shrinks by the day. Each morning you'll wake up excited to hop on the scale to see how much you've dropped overnight while you enjoyed the best sleep of your life. Because that's the beauty of this formula. It'll feel like a fog has been lifted. You'll enjoy more energy, better focus while feeling lighter on your feet. And you'll no longer be bogged down by embarrassing and painful digestive issues that can make you feel heavy and sluggish. All because your body and metabolism are now working in harmony again. You see, a big reason why this video has gone viral is because tomorrow morning, thousands all over the globe will wake up, hop on the scale, and notice at least 1 to 2 pounds of fat gone, and will continue to do so for the entire week. Once they see these results, immediately they call their friends and tell them or share this video and formula on Facebook. Just like Dottie Manchester from Iowa, who wrote in saying, "I can't believe how quickly this works. I'm in the middle of menopause, so I was skeptical when I watched your video, but I saw my friend Nancy and how she really slimmed down quite fast. So I decided I had nothing to lose except this pudgy midsection that folds over my pants when I sit down. I hate that thing. Anyways, I did what you said, Sharon. I stopped doing so much cardio, ate normal, and followed the lean belly formula. The first week, I lost 8 pounds and 1 inch from my waist. That first month, I lost a grand total of 25 pounds. My husband can't even believe it and now constantly follows me around the house like when we first started dating. Whatever is in this formula, the African ingredient you said, it's amazing. Not only has my belly disappeared, I've lost 18 pounds in only 3 weeks. My mood has improved, my depression is gone, and I have so much energy that I took up a few extra hobbies. Rose Rivera, 41, Jacksonville, Florida." Now, there's plenty more emails like this, but we're getting towards the end of this video, so I want to show you what you can experience when you follow the Lean Belly Protocol, plus how to get your hands on this breakthrough weight loss formula. First, I want to be upfront and honest with you. This is not some fad diet, juice cleanse, or detox formula. It's none of those things, and frankly, not a quick fix solution because those do not work long term. Never have and never will. During the first few days while following the Lean Belly Protocol, you can expect to lose a gradual amount of weight. You won't feel hungry, sluggish, or low on energy. Remember, you just need to eat sensibly, cut back on the exercise, and avoid a few foods, which we'll give you at the end of this presentation. If you follow this simple ritual, I promise the first week you can expect to lose at the very, very, very least 5 pounds. You see, what takes most people a month to lose, you'll do it in 1 week. And this won't be water weight, but mostly fat. After week 2, that's when you'll begin to feel the total body effects, mentally and physically. You'll begin to see things through a clearer lens with more focus and clarity, which is a sign the inflammation is leaving your brain that's been short-circuiting your neurochemicals and connections. Most participants notice these effects between the 4th and 8th week. Then from there, if you continue past week 8, which most do, you'll keep losing the rest of your stubborn fat, if you still have some, while toning up, helping you feel better than ever as your health markers like cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood pressure are normalized. You can experience results just like Mark, who lost 44 pounds in 12 weeks, came off one of high blood pressure meds, and no longer takes a statin for his cholesterol. And Jackie, who lost 3 inches and 22 pounds in 6 weeks after giving birth to her 3rd child. You see, even if you don't need to lose a lot of weight, Lean Belly is perfect to help you lose those last 10 to 20 pounds as well. And rather quickly too. It's the easiest way to get in shape before a special occasion, vacation, or after the holidays. Just 1 serving in the morning and you're set for the day. You won't have to track your points, calories, or carbs. You won't have to drag yourself to the gym or for a run outside. And you won't have to worry about social situations where everyone is eating, but you're on a diet. Eat what you'd like. Just stay away from certain foods, which we'll show you at the end. That's what thousands have already done and continue to do each day, this minute actually, while experiencing rapid body slimming results. They just wish they found this a lot sooner. And why I consider this a special time in history, because now it's your turn to experience the Lean Belly effect. It's taken years for this to come to light, and why it cost an arm and a leg in the beginning to try. Like I said, it was $199 for just a 30-day supply. Crazy, I know, but I was desperate, and it did work and continues to work for thousands everywhere. But you won't have to pay that much today. I promise. Luckily, we were able to make a few breakthroughs in the manufacturing process that's allowed costs to come down. And because you're here watching this video and stayed all the way through, we'll be passing these savings on to you. I can't even begin to tell you how hard it was to bring this to light, because there's only one place in the world where this magical ingredient grows at the moment due to the specific mineral content of the soil in that region. Then you have to farm, delicately package, ship, extract the raw ingredients, and make sure everything adheres to a standard of quality that goes above industry norms. Yet, despite this tedious process, you won't be paying $199 for a 30-day supply of Lean Belly just like I promised. You won't even have to pay $157. Today, and today only, you can enjoy the Lean Belly effect for just $99. However, if you act right now before this video ends, you can get everything today for a one-time investment of just $69. That's close to 70% off what I paid in the beginning and many others, but you have to act right now before the day ends. This special price is for your eyes only because you've watched this video and are a first-time customer. Now, I need to let you know that supplies do run out. So if you click the button below that just popped up and you see the price for one bottle is still $69, that means there's still some time left. I just hate for you to miss out or the price goes up because you hesitated. So if you're ready, click the rectangular button below to get started. And after you finish your purchase, can you promise me one thing? To get the word out to your friends and family about the deadly consequences of this silent killer we've been talking about and how it can force your body to gain deadly weight? This is something that's brand new and not many people know about it. So if we all can help more people have a better life, then we're doing our part here on Earth. You see, it's really simple to unlock your metabolism and burn off pounds of trapped fat naturally. Sometimes it's just a lack of information that blocks you from the truth. That's why many customers who purchase Lean Belly never want to go another day without it. They refuse to let this silent killer back in their life, along with its accomplices like belly fat, brain fog, and sluggish energy. That's why I want to let you know on the next page, you'll have the chance to stock up your supplies of Lean Belly with 3 money-saving packages. So to get started, just click the big rectangular button below. From there, you'll be taken to your secure and private checkout page to decide which package you'd like. I just encourage you to act now while supplies are still in stock. We usually run out at least once per month. I just hope today's not that day. So click the button below to get started. Most men and women choose the 3 to 6 bottle option. It just makes the most sense and is the sweet spot for most customers who want to lose at least 20 to 40 pounds or more while reversing a lot of their health markers. Now, when you do make your purchase on the next page, I want you to know you're backed up by the manufacturer's 60-day money-back guarantee. You've got nothing to lose except a belly you can't stand. Truly, all the risk is off your shoulders. You have nothing to lose. Try Lean Belly, and if you're not happy with your results, return the bottles and you'll be refunded your entire investment. That's how confident we are in the Lean Belly formula. Once you order, you can expect your package to leave the warehouse the same day, unless you're ordering late at night. Then it'll be shipped out first thing in the morning. Most customers receive everything in 3 to 5 days, so you can look forward to getting started this week while you notice the belly slimming results right away. Just imagine how it will feel, even just 1 to 2 weeks from now when you wake up, hop on the scale, and see that number heading south, while your body and brain hums with energy that you will never dip, crash, or leave your side because now your metabolism will run flawlessly, like a well-oiled, fat-burning machine, the way Mother Nature intended. You see, it seems the more you follow the Lean Belly protocol, the better it works and the longer it will continue to work if you decided to stop. It's another reason many grab the 6-month supply. They just never want to go another day without it, and if they do by accident, fortunately, the results will still be thing on the market. The formula inside Lean Belly silences inflammation while coaxing your body to burn fat. Studies have shown it could also reduce joint pain, bad cholesterol, triglyceride levels, and remove brain fog. Again, this isn't a stimulant, and it won't make you feel jittery or on edge. Is this available anywhere else? Nope. Right now, it's only available here. Not even on Amazon, and not at your local pharmacy. Do I need a prescription for this? Not at the moment. Anyone can enjoy the Lean Belly effect in the comfort of their own home. I predict soon the pharmaceutical companies will come out with something similar. That's when you'll need a prescription and have to pay a lot more for the same thing. How will I know this is working for me? Real simple. You wake up, hop on the scale, and watch as the pounds fly off. You'll look in the mirror, lift up your shirt, and you'll feel your belly noticeably slimmer, flatter, and firmer. The first few days, you'll notice deeper sleep patterns and certainly more energy. Now, for most customers, all of this happens right away. But there are some that it takes 1 to 2 weeks for this to happen. It depends on you, but most feel it working within a few days. Is your guarantee real? Yes, it's 100% real. If you're not happy with the amount of weight you've lost while using the Lean Belly formula, just email us, tell us what happened, ship back the bottles, and you'll be granted a full refund. No questions, no hassles. How do I order? Just click the button below. From there, a private and secure checkout page will open. You can order everything right there. It's simple, fast, easy, and secure. You have nothing to lose, yet everything to gain right now. I can't wait for you to get started and hear about your results.